Dear students, today we will be dealing with the drug Sanicula aqua. Sanicula aqua is basically a drug which is prepared from mineral spring water. So it is prepared from a mineral spring water which is present in Ottawa, USA. As we all know, mineral spring is a water which is arising beneath the earth. So it will be containing a lot of minerals in it. So as such, we can see that this mineral spring also is containing a lot of minerals in grains per gallon, that is like natramine, calcarea, ferrum, nitrophos, borax, alumina, traces of lithium bicarbonate, etc. And hence we can also see that this Sanicula drug is bearing resemblance to many of our drugs or many of the minerals which are present in our America, or various drugs which are taken from these types of minerals. That means it bears a resemblance to many of our drugs that we'll be seeing later. So this drug Sanicula was actually proved unintentionally like blata because a family was consuming the water from this mineral spring for a consecutive days, and they started to produce symptoms, and hence it is said that this drug Sanicula was proved unintentionally like blata. Okay, and the drug is prepared from the trituration of evaporated salt. It is prepared from the trituration of evaporated salt or by the dilutions of the mineral spring water. So you should always remember that Sanicula aqua is the source is actually mineral spring water. Okay, now let us see what is the constitution of Sanicula. When we usually think of constitution of Sanicula, you can think of an abrotanum type of child with a chamomilla type of mental picture. Okay, that means the child will be emaciated. Okay, emaciated, pot-bellied appearance of showing a features of rickets. Okay, that means the emaciation will be progressive emaciation with a pot-bellied appearance. And one of the characteristic or one of the key symptom of Sanicula is profuse sweat, especially in the nape of neck and head. Okay, sweats profusely even during sleep, especially in the head and nape of neck. So other remedies you can think of profuse sweat are rheum, silicea, calcarea, carb, etc. It is often a confusing about this whether it is a case of Sanicula or silicea, because we'll see that many of features of Sanicula and Silicea are similar that we'll be dealing with later. So initially you should remember that it is an appearance of a emaciated or pot-bellied rickety appearance with profuse sweat, especially during sleep, and it is present especially in the head and nape of neck. And skin, you can see that the skin is looking old with dirty greenish brownish skin, showing a feature of marasmus or a dirty skin appearance, and the skin about the neck will be wrinkled and will be hanging in folds similar to natramure, abrotanum, iodum, etc. So the appearance will be looking a dirty greasy brownish appearance with that characteristic sweat and also that pot-bellied nature with marked progressive emaciation. So that is the constitution of Sanicula in appearance. Okay, certain children, they'll be feeding all the time, but they'll be having poor assimilation, as we see in Silicea. So similarly, lack of assimilation is also seen in the Sanicula child. Okay, that is the constitution of Sanicula. Now let us see, as we have already told, we should think of Sanicula like an abrotanum type of a child or an atramo child type of child with a chamomilla or a cinna type of mental picture, that is irritability. Marked irritability and obstinacy is seen in Sanicula. Should remember that the children are stubborn. Stubborn means they are very obstinate, stubborn, willful, and they get angry and they throw themselves backward. It is said that when they doesn't deserve the thing that they need, they'll be throwing themselves backward. Okay, you can see that in clinic, certain mother, they'll be complaining that when the children, when they didn't get the thing they deserve, they'll be throwing themselves backward like ഒറ്റ വീഴ്ചയായിരിക്കും എന്ന് പറയാം. അപ്പം അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു ഒബ്സ്റ്റിനേറ്റ് നേച്ചറാണ് സാനിക്കുല ചൈൽഡിന് കാണേണ്ടത്. Then another important thing is the instability of purpose. That means they'll be jumping on from one work to another, never finishing anything. That means if they are playing with the toys, they'll be playing with one toy at a time and they'll be playing with another toy at a time. So that changeability is seen in Sanicula, which is absent in Silicea, because Silicea is more constant or less changeable than Sanicula. Okay, then we have already told they wants to nurse all the time, but they yet emaciates. Okay, so that poor assimilation is saying that not because of food is lacking or quality or quantity, but it is due to the poor assimilation. And even though the child is very emaciated, they wants to lie on something hard. Okay, they'll prefer to lie on something hard. Then there is a great desire for open air. Even though they are chilly ready, they have a great desire for open air, and they have a great desire to travel. Okay, great desire for open air, and they are restless, and they have a great desire to travel. Then the kicks of clothing in the coldest summer, the coldest weather. That is one of the marked contradictory features. So even though they are chilly, they kicks of clothing even in the coldest weather. It is because they have a peculiar burning of souls, and it is due to this reason they are kicking off the clothes even in the coldest weather. Similar symptom you can see in camphor. Okay. No, they are headstrong, price, kicks and irritable. They wants to be carried constantly. Similar to our antitart, chamomilla, cinna, azalb, they likes to be pampered and they wants to be carried constantly. But even though they needs to be carried, they are whiny and does not want to be touched. Okay, they does not wants to be touched. Similar to antitart, anticrude and cinna. In antitart, you can see that the child will not let you to feel the pulse. So such a nature, such a irritably whiny nature ആണ് നമുക്ക് സാനിക്കുലയിലും കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നത്. That does not want to be touched. So they are cross and irritable, but the next moment they are laughing. But that changeability you can see in both their physical activities and also their mental picture. അതായത് ഫിസിക്കൽ ആക്ടിവിറ്റി എന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അവരൊരു ടോയ് വെച്ച് കളിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയായിരിക്കും, കുറച്ച് കഴിയുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും ദേ വിൽ ബി പ്ലേയിങ് വിത്ത് സം അതർ ടോയ്. സോ ആ ഒരു ചേഞ്ചബിലിറ്റി ആ ഫിസിക്കൽ ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസിലും കാണാം. സിമിലർലി മെൻ്റൽ പിക്ചറിലും ദേ വിൽ ബി ക്രോസ് ആൻഡ് ഇറിറ്റബിൾ, but the next moment they will be laughing. In cinna, chamomilla, you can see that this irritability can lead to convulsions, but here the irritability is changing to next moment that unfit laughter. Okay, now the Sanicula children is also having some fear. Okay, they have dread of downward motion, they have also dread of darkness. Okay, you should remember two fears, that is dread of downward motion and also dread of darkness. Dread of downward motion, other remedy is borax. Okay, borax. And also they are restless and they have desire to go from place to place. So this is the mental picture of Sanicula. They're very obstinate, very stubborn, and the differentiating feature is that between Sanicula and Silesia is that Sanicula is more obstinate than Silesia. Okay, so this is a mental picture. So see, they said that Sanicula child never sticks long at anything, whereas Silesia child is more constant. Okay, there is a she's more sticking on to something, but he is more obstinate. Sorry, Sanicula is more obstinate and difficult to control than Silesia. Silesia is also obstinate and headstrong, but when we doesn't get any result from Silesia, we can think of Sanicula, because Sanicula is more obstinate and difficult to control than Silesia. Silesia have a desire to be magnetized, and there is a fear of pins, etc. But rest of the other features you will see a similarity between Silesia and Sanicula. Okay, so the main region of affection or the main sphere of affection is upon the nutrition. Then you have also other affections like female organs, neck, rectum and skin. Okay, so the main sphere of affection is upon the nutrition. Then female organs, neck, especially in the put nape of neck in the rectum and also the skin. So let us see what are the characteristic features of Sanicula. So you should always remember that the Sanicula child is an ill-nourished child with frequent change of symptoms. As we have already told, there is a frequent change of symptoms, both in the mental and also physical features. You can see that there is a frequent change of symptoms. Even if we are looking the characteristic stool, the two stools are different. Okay, such a changeability is seen in the Sanicula child, frequent change of symptom, and also sensitives. They are sensitive and that does not allow us to be touched. That sensitive nature is seen. Offensiveness, especially old cheese and old cheese and സ്മെല്ലാണ്, ഒരു ഒഫൻസീവ്നെസ് ഇസ് മാർക്ക്, എസ്പെഷ്യലി അത് ലൂക്കോറിയയിലാണ് പറയുന്നത്. ലൂക്കോറിയ സ്മെൽസ് ലൈക്ക് ഓൾഡ് ചീസ്. ഇഫ് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് എ ഡിസ്ചാർജ് ഫ്രം ദ റെക്റ്റം, ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് മില്ലിംഗ്, അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് കെൽക്കേരിയാണ് ചിന്തിക്കേണ്ടത്. ഇഫ് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ഫ്രം ദ ഇയർ, ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ടെലോറിയം. സോ ഹിയർ ദ ഒഫൻസീവ്നെസ് ഇസ് similar to an old cheese or a fish brine. Okay, old cheese or fish brine. Now burning, you can see especially soles ലാണ് പറയുന്നത്. Hence they kicks off the covering. Burning in the soles, hence they kick off covering even in the coldest weather. Then there is an enlarged feeling in the throat and vagina. Enlarged feeling in the throat and vagina. And also there is thick yellow acrid pus. The discharges will be thick yellow and acrid with profuse sweat, especially in the nape of neck and occiput. And also there is a marked aggravation in riding in the carriage. So let us see what are the particular symptoms. Now, when we think of Sanicula, the keynote symptoms you should remember is one is the bedwetting. It is one of the important, the characteristic child you should always remember. She is obstinate, headstrong, with profuse sweat, marked irritability, changeable nature, the desire to go from place to place, irritability which is changing to happiness or fits of laughter. അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു ചൈൽഡ് ആയിരിക്കും വിത്ത് ഈ ഒരു ക്യാരക്ടറിസ്റ്റിക് സിംറ്റം. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് വൺ ഓഫ് ദി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് മെഡിസിൻ ഫോർ ബെഡ് വെറ്റിംഗ്. Similar to creosote, sepia, cinna, etc. Sanicula is another important medicine for bedwetting. Then diarrhea and constipation of children, that will be dealing with the drug. Another important feature is motion sickness, aggravation, riding in carriage. So it is one of the important medicine for motion sickness. And also the profuse sweat. You should always remember the profuse sweat, especially during sleep, in the nape of neck and head. So these are the key points of Sanicula. Now characteristic particulars. The head symptom, you can see that there is profuse sweat on the occiput and neck, which is aggravated during sleep. Then there is a profuse scaly dandruff with falling of hair. Profuse scaly dandruff with falling of hair. And also you can see there are small boils on the head that do not mature. Small boils on the head that do not mature. And also you cannot bear cold air on occiput and neck. We have already told one of the marked sphere of action is the occiput and neck, and they cannot bear cold air in occiput and neck. You should remember the profuse sweat, scaly dandruff, and the intolerance of cold air. Now eyes, you can see that there is also dandruff of eyebrows also. So it is one of the important medicine for dandruff of scalp and eyebrows, also the eyelashes. Now ear, similar to graphitis and sorenum, you can see there is a soreness behind the ear with a discharge of white, grey or viscid fluid. Okay, there is discharge behind the ears with with soreness. The discharge is white, grey and viscid fluid. Now you can see one particular symptom, that the coryza, about the coryza, that is fluent coryza, which is aggravated by eating. And the water, the coryza smells like old musty rainwater. ഈ മസ്റ്റി റെയിൻ വാട്ടർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മൾ ഈ മഴയൊക്കെ പെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടൊരു പൂപ്പലിൻ്റെ ഒക്കെ ഒരു മണമില്ല, അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു സ്മെല്ലായിരിക്കും. സോ ദ കൊറൈസ വിൽ ബി സ്മെല്ലിങ് ലൈക്ക് ഓൾഡ് മസ്റ്റി റെയിൻ വാട്ടർ. ഇറ്റ്സ് വൺ ഓഫ് ദി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് ക്യാരക്ടറിസ്റ്റിക്സ് ഓഫ് സാനിക്കുല. In mouth, it is one of the marked feature of Sanicula child. That is, the Sanicula child will be constantly protruding the tongue because of the burning of the tongue. So there will be marked burning in the tongue, and the children, they will be constantly protruding it to keep it cool. Okay, so to keep it cool, there will be certain children, you can see that they will be protruding the tongue often. So Sanicula is one of the important medicine with that characteristic symptom, that is, the child will be protruding the tongue to keep it cold, and also there will be ringworm on the tongue. And the mouth and palate are covered with ulcers with white apathy. Now characteristic stomach symptoms. As we have already told, the child wants to be nursing all the time, yet they emaciates. Then one of the marked craving, that is craving for salt, bacon and ice cold milk. Okay, certain children will be telling they'll need ice cold milk. So marked cravings of Sanicula are salt, bacon and ice cold milk. And the thirst is very little and often, and the water is vomited as soon as it reaches the stomach. So similar medicine is arsenic album. The thirst is little and often, and you can see phosphorus and asa, the water is vomited as soon as it reaches the stomach. In phosphorus, when it warms, it is vomited out. So that is a characteristic feature of thirst, and there is a marked craving for salt, bacon and ice cold milk. Then there is vomiting of curdy milk, vomiting from carriage riding, one of the important medicine for motion sickness. And eating causes an urge for stool, and they must leave the table. Eating causes an urge to stool. Then it is indicated in pot-bellied children with loud gurgling. The characteristic peculiarity of stool, either it will be a large heavy mass, and must be removed. Okay, it's one of the important medicine for constipation. The stool is large heavy mass, or it may be dry small balls. We have already told there is changeability of symptoms. So like Pulsatla, no two stools are alike. Okay, and they smell like rotten cheese. The stool foul is smelling like rotten cheese, and it crumbles at the verge of anus in constipation, like Macmore. Okay, then there is a pain in perineum during stools, and the stool are also involuntary changeable with similar to aloes. You can see that there is an incontinence of urine and feces. The sphincter is unreliable, and there is marked urging to pass flatus, and they must cross legs to prevent the feces from escaping. So these are the characteristics of GIT symptoms. And also you can see that the diarrhea, it is changeable in color like scrambled eggs. Okay, scrambled eggs, it is frothy grassy green, turns green on standing. It's like a scum on a frog's pond. Similar remedies macabre, where you can see that the diarrhea, it is scrambled eggs like, or a grassy green, just like a scum on a frog's pond. And also the order of stool follows despite bathing, which is one of the characteristic symptoms of Sanicula. That is, the order of stool follows despite careful bathing. So such an offensiveness is seen in Sanicula. Similar medicine is sulfur. In urinary symptom, you can see that like Lycopodium borax, the child cries before urinating, strains to urinate while at stools. The urine is briny urine. That means light blue color. It's briny urine. Also, urine stains diaper red. There is frequent, profuse, sudden urination, and urging ceases if desire is restricted. In female, you can see that there is an excoriation of skin about the anus. Okay, the opposite you can see, that is, it is covering the perineum, it is extending to genitals. Okay, so excoriation of skin about the anus, covering the perineum, extending to genitals. The opposite you can see in petroleum, where it is extending to the anus. Then leucorrhea with a strong odor of fish brine. So leucorrhea is having a strong odor of fish brine appearance and also old cheese appearance. Now there is great weakness. I'm sorry, the leucorrhea is actually fish brine appearance. Okay, and okay. There is also weakness with bearing down as if contents of pelvis would escape, which is aggravated by walking, misstep or jar, and it is ameliorated by rest or lying down. So similar to sepia, you can have a bearing down sensation in the pelvis, which is ameliorated by supporting the hands by placing hands against the vulva. And also there is soreness of uterus. So these are the female symptoms. So you should remember that excoriation of skin and the characteristic of leucorrhea. Then extremities, you can say that already we have told there is profuse sweat. Okay, and the food sweat is also profuse, sour and offensive. Okay, offensive food sweat. So similarly you can see in Sanicula also you can see that profuse offensive food sweat. So Silesia, graphitis, sorinum, other remedies. So here it is said that when the Sanicula people, when they remove their socks, it is so offensive that no one can stand in their room. So that much of offensiveness is seen in Sanicula. As if soles has been stepped in cold water. And also there is burning of soles of feet, and they must uncover or put them in a cold place, similar to lachesis, medorinum, sanguinary and sulfur. Then one of the characteristic modality of backache is aggravated by putting hands behind him or raising arms. Backache is aggravated by putting hands behind him or raising arms. And there is also important medicine for lumbago with cold lumbar spine. Again, extremities, you should remember that profuse food sweat and also that modality of backache. And the skin is already dirty, greasy, brownish and wrinkled appearance, unhealthy skin. And also there is a eczema, that is fissured hands and fingers. Eczema between the hands and fingers, similar to petroleum and graphitis. So the modalities, the aggravating factors are motion, especially downward motion, then putting hands behind him, especially the backache, then cold wind, especially on the occipital neck. It is better by open air and also better by vomiting. So these are the characteristic features of Sanicula. You should always remember the peculiar appearance, the peculiar mental picture, the marked irritability, obstinacy, the changeability, okay, and the chilly patient who kicks off the curry, profuse sweat, one of the important medicine for motion sickness, bedwetting, and also the marked constipation and diarrhea with the peculiar features. So this is in short about Sanicula. Thank you.